1,214. That's just few short of a full house. But who is going to win this All-Ireland? Kilkenny leading at half-time, 1-8 to 6 points. Sir Fard, who are they going to see win it now?
Well, I went for Kilkenny to start. I still think they might do. Now, they're up against it because they've put a terrible lot of energy into the first half. And I don't know, the fitness is going to be, have they another 35 or nearly 40 minutes left to push on? If they can tack on a point or two and go from 6, 7, 8 up, like they should win it. Now, Tip will be starting. Like, they hadn't hurled at all. And if that goal didn't come, Michael, with Michael Finley's goal, Tip will be very happy going into half time because when you're going in 2 points down, they don't know hurling. Now, Declan Ryan will be getting the lads. Listen, get out and hurl and do yourselves justice. And if they do, they're right in the game. But at this stage, it's Kilkenny are really in the driving seat.
I think, Declan Ryan is going to go daft inside in that dressing room at half-time. If you're talking about their half-forward line, they're not competing under the high ball, they're not getting onto breaking ball, they're not hunting in the packs that we saw in the last 2 years. How many times has Brian Hogan come out, JJ Delaney come out, Tommy Walsh come out and clearing ball up the field? Trademark Kilkenny stuff, fantastic performance. You see there's only 4 points from frees in that first half from Tipperary. All the Kilkenny scores have actually, all the Kilkenny forwards have got a score. 1-1 coming from midfield, bar Colin Finley. So there's a big ass. The backs, Liam, Tipperary recovered well after a slippery start, but they can only hit so much ball up the field, and if the guys at the other end are not doing their stuff, are not winning it, it's going to come back down and it's going to cause endless pressure for that Tipperary backline.
Yeah, definitely. You would say that at the back Kilkenny have got it right. They've put Jackie Turrell onto Lara Corbin, and Lara struggled to get on the ball. I think the one time he got on the ball, he was probably back in his own half backline. It's really hard to get space. Likewise, Noel Hickey is picking up Owen Kelly. And again similar stature, and he's working. That's working out quite well. So Kilkenny at the moment have the answer in the back line. But this Tip forward line, we know they can score. They've huge ability in this forward line, so they'll be in there kicking themselves. They've let the first 35 minutes of this game pass them by. They haven't really performed to the level that I think everyone knows they can. So they have a big ask. Kilkenny, in fairness to them, they have created the intensity in the first half and drove on. So the question is now, can they maintain it? Because we would have seen against Dublin and against Waterford, they weren't as strong in that second half.
Kilkenny back out onto the field. We're going to just check and see if there's any changes of numbers, any subs coming onto that Kilkenny team. And there's the mighty Henry, of course. It was a poor All-Ireland for him last year. Sarah Farley had to go off injured, but he's been playing his part so far.
Yeah, he has. Look, he's a great hurler, but he won't be happy, Michael, unless they win the All-Ireland. If he plays brilliant and Kilkenny lose, that'll be no good to Henry Shefflin. These guys want to win, and he's a winner, and he went through a lot through the last few months to get back where he is. But you can see him from the frees alone, and even though his pace has gone a bit, he's still the kind of general on that pitch. The Kilkenny forwards are working very hard. They'll feel maybe they should have scored more, but the tip backs are good, and yet looking at the first half, there was a couple of breaking balls that if they win tipways up front, they'd have got in for goals. But it broke the other way and Kilkenny read them. It's a small thing that can change in All-Ireland. If Tip can get a goal in this game, they're right back in it.
But see, the thing is about Lara as well, right? Because they have made the switch of putting Jackie Turrell on Lara Corbett, he's followed him all over the field. He's sticking to him like a leech. But that must be an opportunity for somebody else to step up to the plate and come up to the mark, and maybe you take the pressure off Lara Small. But he's been their main threat all year. He's been their main scorer. And unfortunately for Tip, if Lara's held here today, somebody else needs to come up to the mark, and that is not happening from that first half period.
You can't be expected to do it every as you say, someone else should step up. There's 5 other forwards. They have to do it. If they don't, their title is gone.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, because one of the places you could play Lara is put him out in the centre forward. 2 years ago he operated very well from the centre forward position. Then Kilkenny have a question to ask themselves. Do we move Brian Hogan, who's our out and out centre back, out there and put Jackie Turrell, or do we get Jackie Turrell back? So at least you're asking the question. But as I said, I think there's a big 10-15 minutes now. This first 10-15 minutes is going to dictate who's going to be All-Ireland champions, and I'm sure Tip are going to come roaring back into this game.
Let's see what happens. All set to go for the second half. Let me hand you back to Ger Canning and to Michael Duignan.
Thank you very much, Michael. We've just noticed number 18, Benny Dunn, has come out, and he has come into and 17 is there as well. So that's Pa Burke. So 2 changes, Benny Dunn and Pa Burke. Second half gets underway. If you see one change in Kilkenny, it's Colin Fennelly is now wearing jersey number 32. Well, goals have decided the last 2 All-Ireland finals, only 1 so far. 5 points between the teams at the start of the second half. What do you make of those 2 changes?
Yeah, well, first of all, I see Pádraig Maher has switched wings over onto Henry Shefflin. He started the second half at right half forward, and it's early enough to be making changes. There's 3 Tip subs on the field already, just at the start of the second half, so they're showing their hand very, very early.
Just trying to have a look to see who has been withdrawn. Meanwhile, it's Patrick Bonner-Maher who has that swept away from him by Tommy Welch. Still the pressure is on. JJ Delaney with a little clearance, but out over the sideline. And the players who've been withdrawn now are Shane McGrath and also Seamus Callanan. So 9 and 10 gone for Tipperary. So it's all or nothing almost at this stage for Declan Ryan. Only 5 points behind. How a goal would energise their challenge greatly. Right now it's a line ball. Noel McGrath standing over this one. Goalkeeper saves. Patrick Bonner-Maher came in with the challenge. And David Herity, who's had a very good first championship season, but he's given the ball away there to Owen Kelly. And Kelly can plant it back in here, maybe with a little bit of help. Into Bonner-Maher once again. The little hand pass intended there for Pa Burke. Didn't reach him. It reaches Michael Rice instead. And Rice takes off in determined fashion. Hand passing it out as far as Richie Power. Swept way down the field beyond Owen Larkin. Brendan Cummins. Last line of defence, first point of attack. Big one up towards the attack once again, and this time it's taken by Paul Murphy. Murphy for Kilkenny down towards Larkin, 2 against 1 there. Coming across Michael Cahill, covering very neatly. Send on there for Pádraig Maher, goes to ground rather easily. Michael Fennelly comes in, the goal scorer after 35 minutes. Hand passing it towards Larkin, looking to reach a support player. Doesn't reach him because Kilkenny get lots and lots of bodies, or Tip gets lots of bodies back, and Michael Cahill gets it away from the Kilkenny man. Up it comes towards Pa Burke. Can he fire over the first point of the second half? He's gone for it, but he's missed it.
Yeah, and a wrong option there. Bonner-Maher was gone into about 20 yards of space just inside him, and a bad option there by Pa Burke. And I see Paul Murphy has stayed at wing back. Judge Delaney over at right corner back now, picking up John O'Brien. And you know, very interesting tactics I think by Brian Cody today, that he trusted Paul Murphy to play on the half back line and man marking job right throughout the whole back line.
That's pumped out deep into the Tipperary half of the field. Once again it is Richie Power advancing, stopped in his tracks. Out comes Paddy Stapleton, looks over his shoulder. 45 metres out now from his own goal, kicking it forward towards Bonner-Maher. Runs on. Patrick Bonner-Maher now, the 21-year-old from Lura. Going back to make a better angle for himself. Picking out Benny Dunn here, the second half substitute. And Benny Dunn has forced it inside the right-hand post and puts it over the bar. Good start to the second half. Benny now trying to rally the troops, trying to get the Kilkenny team and fans going like they haven't got going so far in this match. Only 1 point from play in the first half by the forwards. Well, Benny's got in and he's made a difference. 1-8 to 7 points. David Herity pucking it out. Down towards Henry Shefflin, being marked now by Pádraig Maher. Maher again on the ground. Referee allowing play to continue to see what develops. It comes out towards Benny Dunn again. Benny Dunn this time leaves it behind Henry Shefflin, tries to flick it up to himself. Surrounded by Tip players, and the referee blows his whistle and will end the uncertainty. This time it's Henry from the throw, taking it from Benny, taking it into his hands and hitting it neatly over the bar. Missed a few chances in the first half, but he's now got 4 points, Henry Shefflin. 2 of them from play. Yeah,
that's a great score, George. Henry showing all his strength, and you know, great pick up, hurl broken off, man, didn't bother him, straight over the bar. Great score by Henry.
Covering at the back here is Tommy Welch. Again, it's Patrick Maher, starting much better in the second half. Flipped away from him, and that's got to be a 65. JJ Delaney got in there, neat challenge to flick it away from Patrick Bonner-Maher. Nicknamed after the great Cormac Bonner, who was himself nicknamed the Viking back in the late 80s.
That's great timing there. JJ Delaney, you know, maybe talk of his pace being gone, but he easily covered the ground, and you just watch his timing there. He waited for Bonner-Maher to play the ball, no panic, didn't foul him, and flicked away the ball for a 65.
No panic being shown by players anywhere at this stage, because it's all to play for. A lovely sunny afternoon at this stage at Croke Park in front of over 81,000. Owen Kelly with 4 points from the first half, looking to put over his 5th. This to put just 4 points between the teams, and that's well over. Doesn't miss those. So now it's 1-9 to 8 points. 12 points to 8.
The last day against Dublin, Tip got 365s in the second half, and Owen Kelly scored the 3 of them, had a big impact on the result. And I think we're going to see Tipperary running at Kilkenny a lot more in the second half. You see Bonner the 2 balls he's got since half time, he's taken on Tommy Walsh.
And that time it's the half backs of Tipperary who did well. O'Mahony flipped away eventually up there to the full forward line, but this time the Kilkenny half-backs, as they were doing in the first half, doing really well. Tommy Walsh across towards Henry Shefflin, the usual routine. Pádraig Maher over there to try and stop that constant source for Kilkenny. And Tip do well, but then almost lose it in midfield. In the end, Maher again comes across here. Oh, careless use of the hand pass. It was indiscriminate, and it's gone towards Eddie Brennan. Flicked it outside there towards Michael Rice, dropped it. In came Brendan Maher. First half sub is hooked well, really well that time. Colin Fennelly, now number 32, striking it off his left from a huge distance out. It'll be a great point. It is a great score. Colin Fennelly, who's got pace, guile and subtlety, and he's now got his first point in this All-Ireland final, his first time to start a decider. 110 to 8 points.
Yeah, Jaron, we saw why he's so important to Kilkenny. You know, I said it all week, if he was missing, it'd be a huge loss, because he has that pace that maybe some of the other Kilkenny forwards don't have at this stage. Brilliant hook and a brilliant strike. You know, if he hit it wide, it's a wrong option, but a great score.
That's beautifully in there, but it wasn't contained, and instead it is Kilkenny who get it out. Nice little hand pass by Noel Hickey out to his centre half back and captain Brian Hogan, down into the forwards to Larkin, dished off quickly as far as Hogan. That's Richie Hogan, and he's put it to the left. Missed opportunity. 1 point for Richie Hogan that early in the match. So a 5-point game. Tip fans hoping their side can really put on a big spurt now during the second half. They started promisingly. Brendan Cummins puck out towards Benny Dunn. Bonner Maher there, challenged. Breaks out, JJ Delaney flicking it out to Eddie Brennan, head down, little hand pass outside as far as Richie Power, striking it from the 45-metre line. He's happy, jumps for joy, why not? It's gone over the bar. It's his second point of the All-Ireland final, and it's now 111 to 8 points. Suddenly Kilkenny by 6.
Yeah, and you'd have to say the selection of Eddie Brennan. You know, people saying during the week Eddie hadn't played all year, hadn't started, but had played every league match. I think people forgot that. He was in great shape, and he's having a super game. And JJ Delaney since half-time, I think that's 4 times the ball has gone down his wing, and 4 times he's won it, and a few great possessions.
Brendan Maher now trying to steady things at half-back for Tipperary, trying to launch a few decent attacks. Again denied by the consistency of Kilkenny's full backline this year. Noel Hickey trying to get it away. First time wasn't the greatest of hand passes. Pa Burke now trying to play Kilkenny into some difficulty, trying to play it back to Noel McGrath. Oh, he was off balance, he was hitting that one. Drops in, however, Maher went for it, but it comes back out to Brian Hogan of Kilkenny. Slipped out to Michael Rice, and Rice, a huge clearance, way down. Lots of Tipperary backs there. Colin Fennelly challenging for it. Pádraig Maher leaves it behind to Richie Power, and Power is fouled, and it's going to be a free from just around the 45-metre line. Lar Corbett's in trouble with an injury, and Lar Corbett hasn't had the best of finals so far. Should have come into this final really playing with a fine high reservoir of confidence after his performance this year and last. Got more goals this year than last year, but he's okay.
Yeah, Jaron, maybe it's a bit early to start talking about it, but before last year's final, a lot of talk about Henry Shefflin winning his 8th All-Ireland medal, and Eddie Brennan as well, and you know, they're gone 7 points up now, and they're really looking so strong all over the field. All this talk maybe, and I was included myself, I thought that Tipperary younger legs would tell, but if they're going to get back into this game, they need some leadership up front. Noel McGrath's not on his game. Pádraig Burke hasn't done anything since half-time. Owen Kelly getting no possession, and Lar Corbett, as you say, completely out of the game. So you'd wonder where the scores are going to come from.
And Tip wondering if they can get back into this match in a very meaningful way. John O'Brien across here as far as Conor O'Mahony, trying to give leadership. Referee says play on. He does. Strikes off his left, high and over the bar. That's what you're looking for. Sharp, decisive play from a wonderful centre-half back from Newport, 26-year-old Conor O'Mahony. This was a lovely catch, taken beautifully by John O'Brien, then fed off and completed superbly by Conor O'Mahony. That's a bit more like it. It's back to a 6-point game once again.
Yeah, and you're after 45 minutes, 1 point from play from the Tip forwards. That's Noel McGrath, whereas Kilkenny have 8 points from play, and you know, from their forward line, and they're well on top. None of the tip forwards in the game at this stage.
Brendan Maher's hand pass was intercepted there. Ends up with Michael Rice getting it out here. Henry Shefflin, and it was Eddie Brennan trying to feed it in. Back out it comes once again here. Pressure on the Kilkenny backs. Noel Hickey facing his own goal, trying to get that ball up onto his stick. Didn't succeed, comes out to Maher. Bonner Maher this time. Coming in at the angle, it's very awkward, running into stern, strong Kilkenny defence there. Brian Hogan trying to block his way. JJ Delaney as well, but it's Bonner Maher again, trying to kick it anyway. We'll do this, trying to get it, linking up with a colleague. Runs away, however, all the way as far as Jackie Tyrrell. Tyrrell shouldered again by a very willing Patrick Maher. And the referee has blown his whistle. Jackie Tyrrell is fairly well fired up. He thought he was getting a free out. It's not going to be that way.
I don't know what the signal was. Was it?
He certainly was convinced that he was going to get a free out, because he was jumping for joy, as you could see, and then looked around disconsolately.
I don't.
Hard to follow that one?
I did too, unless I think the signal was maybe that he caught that he handled the ball 3 times.
Maybe he did. Owen Kelly to take it anyway. 5 from 6 frees so far for Kelly. That's the angle that confronts him, and it's over. And Tip need everything. They're not out of the hunt by any means. It's 1-12 to 10 points.
Yeah, that's it. That free's not been greeted well by the Kilkenny supporters, and you hope it won't come down to a 1-point game, but it was hard to see a free there.
Well, it was puzzling. David Herity pucks it out anyway. Sun in the eyes of defenders and forwards at this stage. Patrick Maher was coming across, he was caught, and the referee is in straight away here as Pádraig Maher gets himself off the ground somewhat gingerly. It'll be free to Tipperary. In case any of you have joined us later and wonder why the referee's got a bandaged nose. He was struck accidentally in the first half. Play was held up for 5 minutes while he received attention. Conor O'Mahony has got a point from play, ready to hit this one inside his own 45-metre line. Not bringing Brendan Cummins out to hit it. It's going to drop short, around 20 metres from the target, maybe even further in. John O'Brien went up for it, comes out here as far as Tommy Walsh once again. Again, very clever use of possession, flicking it out to Michael Rice. Nothing hurried at all, everything's measured, and Colin Fennelly races forward, slips the little hand pass into a determined Eddie Brennan. Off he goes, like he's running in Shelbourne Park. Hand pass across to Hogan. What a goal! That is quite superb. That's hurling for you. Hurling of the very best. And it's a second Kilkenny goal. It's a goal for Richie Hogan coming at the 49th minute. His 4th time to score a goal in the championship. They've all been memorable, and it's 2-12 to 10 points. What about that for a possible defining moment in today's final?
That's an unbelievable goal. Eddie Brennan going through here. I was saying to myself, why is he not going to puck this over the bar? Gives the hand pass, 1 touch, and what a finish by Richie Hogan. Cousin of DJ Kerry's, and at his best, DJ will be proud of that one.
And Eddie Brennan leaving it this time to Henry Shefflin to fire it forward. Once again to Richie Power. This time denied possession by Pádraig Maher. Now it's up to Tipperary to do something about this. And Lark Corbett to come out for it here. He's got to turn on the style at this stage. John O'Brien, they need a point or a score. They need something. They've got a point. Probably need goals at this stage. 2-12 to 11 points. That's a 7-point margin. It's 14.5 minutes into the second half. Lara's the provider, John O'Brien the one who finishes his first point.
Yeah, it's Eddie Brennan looking for a bit of treatment there. It might be oxygen he needs after that run. 33 years of age now.
And as I was mentioning earlier, became a father for the first time during the past week. Our congratulations to him and to his wife and new child Harry.
Tipperary lad, I can't think of it from Portdraw.
Well, I can just tell you that his son Harry is available to the Kilkenny minor selectors for the next 18 years. And if he's like his dad, he'll be a good one. Just watch the goal again here. And then, as far as Richie Hogan, what about this for a decisive finish? Beat Paddy Stapleton, beat Brendan Cummins, 2nd goal of the match.
Yeah, Paddy Stapleton probably had a chance to flick the ball away, but that doesn't take from the goal. An absolutely brilliant finish.
Henry Shefflin went up for it, but it's going to be Kilkenny who will take it down. It's advantage Kilkenny at this stage in the All-Ireland final, the 123rd you're watching live on the Sunday game this afternoon. Owen Larkin over his left shoulder. Should be Brendan Cummins now to begin the counter-attack. What kind of variation can they come up with? Seen very little of Noel McGrath. Got a great point in the first half, but not enough since then. All the avenues to goal have been closed down by a very determined, very disciplined Kilkenny defence. Paul Murphy swinging it downfield. Conor O'Mahony now sweeping, but put under pressure immediately, and that's been the tactic. The forwards becoming the first line of defence. Into Richie Hogan, slipped in towards Larkin, too far this time. Problems for the fullback, Paul Curran. Owen Larkin back in towards Eddie Brennan, looking for Colin Fennelly, finding Brendan Maher instead. Went to ground looking for a free. Referee says play on, you weren't fouled. Michael Cahill tries to get it out. Richie Hogan has it back in again, and he's fouled, and it's going to be a free in. And it should be another point for the team that was denied 5 in a row last year. Denied by Tipperary.
Yeah, and Kilkenny at the moment are creating plenty of opportunities, overlaps. You know, that little flick from Eddie Brendan came off there was another goal on, and you know, if Tipperary aren't careful here, Kilkenny could really pull away from them.
Well, the question was about the fitness levels of Kilkenny. There's no question about Kilkenny's fitness levels. Okay, Henry's 32, Eddie Brennan's 32. They got 2 other 30-year-olds, Hogan and Hickey, but the rest, they're all in their 20s. And that's another point.
Well, I think, to be fair, Jared, was more a question of mileage on the clock rather than, you know, their actual age. Like the likes of Tommy Walsh, JJ Delaney, you know, huge hurling done for men of their age, and that was the more the issue. But that's not a question today. They've trained really, really hard all year.
And what praise Henry deserves for coming back. We all saw him suffering last year, going off after 13 minutes of the match. But he's come back, he's battled so hard to play in this final. Now it's up to Tipperary to do something about it if they're going to deny Kilkenny the title. There's still time if they're good enough. Still battling. And again, Tommy Welch, what a player, what a match he's been playing. Helped out here, Jackie Turrell and Pádraig Buttermar. Hands, knees and bumps a daisy, and in the end the linesman Barry Kelly signalling that it's going to be a line ball to Tip. Pádraig standing over it, but it might be Noel McGrath who will try and perform his party piece and try and put it over. Scorer of 12 points in this year's championship, a couple of them from line balls. Michael Fennelly's brilliant goal in the first half, still remembered fondly by Kilkenny fans. Face of determination there, Noel McGrath cutting it from an almost impossible angle, and he's put it over. One of the top moments of this final, that sideline beautifully cut over there by Noel McGrath. Just look at it again here, it's quite superb. The angle was very tight, very sharp, but he made little of it, and it's 2-13 to 12 points.
Yeah, and all hope not lost yet. You know, if Tipperary can get a goal in the next 5 minutes, you know, they're still in the game. But look, as I say, they're forward and not operating at full, at any potential really at this stage. And Noel McGrath, they're great line ball, but he's not in the game at all. And you know, if he raises it for the next 15 minutes, you know, Tip still have a chance.
Again, out comes Brendan Maher here, blocked partly. Henry Shefflin slips the little hand pass. Michael Rice off his left, in beyond Richie Parr this time. Brendan Cummins now. And you can see Benny Dunn is under pressure, enormous pressure from Michael Fennelly, cutting through, sliding his way through, and well followed up by Benny Dunn, hooked him, but Fennelly persists, strikes, well saved by Brendan Cummins. Kilkenny were looking for another goal. The clearance here is out towards Garrow and Ryan, started well in the opening 10 minutes, haven't seen a lot of him since. Colin Fennelly blocked, goes after it again himself. This time it's cleared away, out by Brendan Maher. Tommy Welch under it there with Pádraig Buttermar, and full credit to the 21-year-old from Tipperary. He's battling his heart out. Inside towards Lark Corbin. Lovely little hand pass. How will they finish here? What a good goal! Tipper right back. It's Paul Burke who's got it. His first ever goal in the championship comes in the 55th minute, and with a quarter of an hour left to play, it's 2-13 to 1-12. It's anybody's game.
Yeah, a brilliant ball by Buttermar, but Lara Corbett not in the game at all. Brilliant first touch and layoff, and Paul Burke had no opportunity but to go for a goal, and you know, great low shot into the net, and really that brings Tip back into the game. A game that they haven't been in at all, but yet they hung in there, and now only 4 points in it.
That's the beauty of hurling. Quarter of an hour to play. Only 4 points between the teams. The champions from last year, Tipperary, fighting back. Richie Power getting possession for Kilkenny, slipping it to Owen Larkin, inside towards Richie Hogan. Hogan still advancing, trying to go by 3 defenders. He had options, there were players right and left, he didn't play them. Very tight in there. Very tight from a tip point of view, and in the end, Brendan Maher, young hurler of the year from last year, gets it away down the field, beyond Owen Kelly. Pressure on once again here. This time it's taken by Noel Hickey. Hickey, little hand pass outside, beyond JJ Delaney, comes as far as Paul Murphy. Playing a very steady game. Huge one down towards Richie Power. Anybody's final, 4 points in it. Back out it comes again to Pádraig Maher. Back once again down the field it comes towards John O'Brien and Benny Dunn. Nicely taken in. Low ball inside towards Lark Corbett, beyond him from that pass from John O'Brien. Out comes the goalkeeper David Herity, gets by Lark Corbett. Herity taking off now, aware of the presence there of Bonner-Maher, didn't want to be hooked, got it out there as far as Michael Rice. Huge one down, pressure on Michael Cahill over there from Colin Fennelly. Taken out by the corner back, but it's surrendered to Richie Power. Back once again, hitting the shot and hitting it wide. Missed opportunity.
But Jerry didn't get a chance there in that passage the player was so up and down the field. But I think the next score now absolutely crucial. If Tip can get back to 3 points, they'll believe they can do it. If Kilkenny can pull away to 5 again, you know, that might be the difference. And Lara Corbett a great chance there, maybe should have taken a touch and got it under control. He let it slip inside. But the game really back in the melting pot now.
David Young is coming in, and the player going off is Conor O'Mahony. The 4th change made by the Tipperary management, led by Declan Ryan. So in comes Young, and he's gone in there to the wing-back position, and I think he's the latest to have a go at marking Henry Shefflin.
Yeah, Pádraig Maher gone to centre-back now, so he's manned all the positions in the half-back line at this stage.
Well, Tipperary are basically saying, let's have a go, let's try our full hand here, let's see if we can win the title. And Kilkenny taking the challenge. They have the lead. Can they hold on now? Brian Hogan will be hoping to lift the cup. Ball played into space here, but to nobody in particular. That's a waste of possession by Brian Hogan. Really give it away to Paul Curran, who now can start the next attack. Bad clearance, straight to Owen Larkin. Mistakes been made. Larkin takes off past Pádraig Maher. Hand pass inside, not a good hand pass. Well read by Paul Curran. Again the ball driven out of defence eventually, this time by David Young, way down the field. Down towards John O'Brien. Challenged there by JJ Delaney, still challenged. Almost running into a cul-de-sac, he's lost it, and Delaney takes it off, hand passes it out as far as Brian Hogan. Big one down. Richie Powers in after it, keeper comes out, and Brendan Cummins does really well. Holds off the challenge of Colin Fennelly, out near the sideline. It'll be a line ball to Kilkenny. What a finale we're getting here. 2-13, 1-12, that's 19 points to 15. Kilkenny the leaders. And there's going to be a change very shortly, as you can see, and we're going to see number 22 TJ Reid in, and Eddie Brennan, I believe, will be the one who will be withdrawn. This line ball taken by Michael Rice down towards Colin Fennelly, holding the possession, now using his pace. Good looking shot, fine looking shot, wonderful score by Colin Fennelly, the man who came into this match under a cloud because of a hamstring injury, but they tested him on Friday night in training. He passed that very rigorous test, and he's done well in this final, and he's made it 2-14 to 1-12. In comes TJ Reid.
Yeah, just Colin Fennelly again, we've mentioned him a few times, but comes from a great hurling family, and you know, just that instinct, he heads straight for the goals, he takes the right angle, and Eddie Brennan getting a huge reception has made a massive contribution as well.
Eddie's one of those players hoping to win an 8 All-Ireland medal this afternoon, along with Henry Shefflin and Noel Hickey on the field. From the puck out, one here by John O'Brien for Tipperary, into space now. Who's covering the space? This time it's Jackie Tyrrell who comes across. And out it comes towards TJ Reid, first possession. Now he needs to use possession well. He's overhit it over the head of Richie Power. Brendan Cummins, nice and calm. 10 minutes to play in the final. 5 points between them. Once again JJ Delaney, but almost taken from him. Brian Hogan helps out. There's a wonderful intensity to this final, which has been non-stop from the word go, really. In the end there, the ball coming off John O'Brien. Or did it? No, it went off a Kilkenny player, off John's legs originally, and then finally off the Kilkenny man. Line ball to Tip anyway.
Yeah, featured again too, the high fielding of John O'Brien. He's caught 3 or 4 brilliant puckouts there in the last 5 minutes, but you know, he's been bottled up. Maybe I felt maybe fouled once or twice there, but Noel McGrath, this is one again that he's capable of putting over, even though it's 55-60 yards out.
This one has got to drop well short. Should be cleared by the backs. They're almost making a mess of it. David Herity in the end. Happy to get his clearance away, and well caught by JJ Delaney. Wonderful fielding, wonderful clearance by Paul Murphy. It's relentless, it's frantic, the pace tremendous at the end of this All-Ireland final. Full credit to both teams. Here's Pádraig Maher, held by Paddy Stapleton. Up as far as Benny Dunn, quick look up. Feeds it forward to Garrow O'Brien, encouraged to take it on. They're playing it short. Noel McGrath going for the target, having a shot himself. He's got it. He's got a third point, Noel McGrath. 2 in the second half. All of wonderful quality. Left unmarked there for a moment as Brian Hogan was back, helping out his full back line, but he left McGrath free.
Yeah, Brian Cody arguing there, I think that was a pick-up off the ground.
He's adamant about it, isn't he? 2:14 to 1:13. A 4-point game still.
Yeah, and you'd wonder about Kilkenny maybe moving Henry Shefflin maybe into full forward. They have Richie Power there, you know, he's young, he's plenty of pace. Henry Shefflin's done a lot of running, and maybe he deserves a bit of a break in there and could still finish if he got a chance.
Doing a lot of running right now is Colin Fennelly from the pass by Michael Rice. Steadying himself from a very tricky angle. He's put it wide. And Henry Shefflin not too pleased with him because he was anticipating a pass across the face of goal, which Henry would have been in to compete for. Henry is top of the left at this stage, being marked by Paddy Stapleton. Tonight, of course, Sunday game, 9:30. Highlights of this, highlights of the minor match as well. Picking the team of the year, man of the match from here, lots more. We'll be at the Winners' Hotel. Well, which hotel and which winners? We don't know. 2:14 to 1:13. 4 points the margin. And tip come again. And it's dropped in well towards Owen Kelly. Tommy Welch coming out to deflect the danger away, and again using the ball with accuracy, just about kept in by Michael Rice. Now he fires it forward, down towards the full forward line, full of threat in there. They compete for it. Eventually back to the goalkeeper, Brendan Cummins. Huge one forward, beyond Benny Dunn, inside to Noel McGrath. Angling this one in. Pa Burke, goal scorer after 55 minutes, having to go backwards in order to go forwards, it seems. John O'Brien now, 65 metres out, pursued by 2-3 Kilkenny players. Still John O'Brien, but life is so difficult trying to get it up onto his stick. And the end, the referee blows his whistle and gives a free in, and you'll judge by the demeanour of the crowd and the sound of the crowd, they're not in complete agreement with that. Owen Larkin going back to help.
The tackling has been ferocious on both sides since the start of the game, and you know,
isn't it what you expect?
It's what you expect, but you know, the level of fitness and the intensity on both teams. And now Tipperary just wants from Owen Kelly to just put 3 points between them again.
This one on the 60 of the 45-metre line, as you can see, pretty central. Shouldn't miss, doesn't. 7 for Kelly. So now 2:14 to 1:14, a goal the margin, and Kilkenny are about to bring on John Mulhall, who is now studying at Queen's University, former UCC player, and Richie Hogan, the goal scorer after 49 minutes, comes on. Brian Hogan and the selectors don't tend to use that many substitutes during a game. That's just the second they've used. Here's David Young going back, knocking it forward confidently. Under it here, Paul Murphy needs to go back, needs to keep it away from John O'Brien, succeeds in both tasks. That's Michael Fennelly going down. They're all wrestled for possession there.
Yeah, great catch there by Michael Fennelly, and Paul Murphy, you know, cleared that ball. He's had a super game at left half back. I'm not sure how much hurling he's ever played in that position, but he's played really well. But look at Michael Fennelly here. Great catch.
Really taken well there. David Young was up against him. I remember Paul Murphy playing wing half in the opening match of the championship, which was against Wexford at Wexford Park, the beginning of the journey for 2011. Yellow card issued there to David Young. Henry Shefflin taking the free. 7 points for Henry Shefflin in this final. And it's now 2:15 to 1:14. And there's another change, a final change being made. And coming in for Tipperary is John O'Neill, in place of John O'Brien. That was a change they made also in the semi-final against Dublin. Owen Kelly trying to get possession there. Hasn't had the greatest of finals, Owen Kelly, but maybe it'll finish yet for him. He was challenged high. Back it comes. Out there as far as Benny Dunn, ready to take off past JJ Delaney. Still Benny Dunn, inside to the goal scorer, Pa Burke. Went to ground. Benny Dunn goes after it. Tommy Walsh trying to flick it away. Benny Dunn trying to bullock his way forward, and the referee blows his whistle, and it's got to be a free out.
I think he threw the ball, I think, was it, or at the end of it all, but good run by Benny Dunn. Pa Burke slipped just there, maybe when he was gone inside Brian Hogan, and
yeah, we didn't see it from that particular angle there, but I think that was the call.
Just see here now, I think he just throws it. Oh, he flicked out with the hurl, so maybe over carrying.
Free out to Kilkenny. David Herity is going to take it, hoping to win his first All-Ireland medal on the park. He's got 2 All-Ireland medals already as substitute goalkeeper to PJ Ryan. From the puck out, from the free rather. Henry Shefflin's after it, trying to roll it up onto a stick, succeeds again. Immediately surrounded by a whole group of tip players. Brendan Maher, number 21, in the thick of it there too. Garrod Ryan, number 8. Back out it comes towards Michael Rice. The hand pass to Henry Shefflin. He gave it away this time. Signalled his intentions, and onto it came Brendan Maher. He's made a lot of ground. Hand passing it here to Stapleton. Way up with the attack. In as far as Patrick Bonner-Marr. Tip looking for another goal. They'll have to be satisfied with a free in on the 20-metre line. With just about 3 minutes, maybe under, still to play of the 70. And I'm sure we'll have a minute or 2 added on as well. So in total, perhaps 4 or 5 minutes left to play in this All-Ireland final. And the gap is 4 points.
Yeah, big call here for Owen Kelly, but you know, I think he'll take the point, get back to 1 score. It makes sense.
There's a lot of Kilkenny bodies on the line. It's a little bit far out.
Well, Johnny Dooley back in '94 had a similar call. He went for it.
Don't remind certain people from Limerick. That's Kelly's 8th point. And I think they've all come from frees in this match.
Yeah, well, it's hard.
Remember him scoring from play.
After watching the balance of the match, it's hard to believe Tipper were in a goal. You know, Kilkenny looked at different times they're going to pull away, but Tip kept battling, and it just shows you when you're the All-Ireland champions, you know, you don't give up your crown easily.
People have been telling me it could end in a draw. There hasn't been one since 1959. Next couple of minutes will tell that story. Richie Power releasing it there to TJ Reid, and the final shot's gone over the bar. Remember when he came on in the All-Ireland final against Waterford in 2008, he came on and scored 4 points in that game. They were all stars that day. They were all wearing Kilkenny shirts. 2-16 to 1-15. Looking like Kilkenny can tip, however, spoil the day for them. Nicely in. Pa Burke's got 1. Oh, he's well hooked. Cross came Noel Hickey. Burke's after him again. JJ Delaney likewise. Number 7. Out it comes to TJ Reid. And TJ Reid back inside his own 13-metre line. Drives it away down for Kilkenny. All the way down where it's collected there once again by Tipperary. And Pádraig Maher, centre half back at this stage, fires it in. Tip needing a goal. Can they get it? Is there a final twist in the story here? Again, it's Kilkenny who deny Tipperary. And out with Michael Fennelly getting it away down the field. Huge one down. What great pace and energy there's been expended in this game. Out to Michael Fennelly. Players are looking tired. Richie Power carefully hand passing it to John Mulhall, and Mulhall hits it high, but it's not quite on target. Just about a metre wide of the left-hand post. 2 minutes of added time to be played, and we're into it now. Kilkenny, who came into the match as outsiders, are that close to winning back the Liam McCarthy Cup. Richie Power, sun in the eyes of Brendan Maher, takes it. His team 4 points behind. They need a goal for starters, and they need to get it quickly. Can they get something out of it? Well blocked down there, that shot by John O'Neill. And away comes Brian Hogan. Great clearance by the captain, who's played a captain's role, given great leadership today. David Young now, under pressure. Into the centre, again towards Brendan Maher. On as far as Garrod Ryan. And this shot by Garrod Ryan is over the bar. Second point by the midfielder, and it's back to a 3-point difference, a goal between them, 2-16 to 1-16.
Yeah, Kilkenny look out on their feet. There's the Liam McCarthy Cup there, but Kilkenny look out on their feet now, and minute to go, the next possession vital, and Tipperary still hanging in there.
Tip need to hang in there, as you say. They've got to get a goal. They've got to get possession very, very quickly. They've got possession. It's Owen Larkin, and Owen Larkin puts it over the bar. His second point of the match. That is surely enough now for Kilkenny to win back the title. They may have lost it in the drive for 5 back in 2010, but in 2011 Kilkenny have been the better team in this final, and they're attacking again. Down it goes, deflected back out once again. Brendan Maher back as far as Michael Cahill. Little hand pass slipped in there as far as Patrick Maher. Away they go, Patrick Maher down into the forwards once again, but surely it's too much for Tipperary at this stage. We've nearly played the 2 minutes of added time, and the referee has blown his whistle, and Kilkenny have won back the Liam McCarthy Cup. Kilkenny are the champions for 2011. Brian Cody has done it. His captain Brian Hogan has given the leadership on the park. It's been a wonderful team effort, and the emphasis has been on team this afternoon. So Tip are denied the 2 in a row, just like the Premier men stopped the drive for 5 12 years ago. Tipperary players absolutely deflated all over the pitch. It's been a remarkable comeback for a team beaten by 8 points last September in a shattering experience. The shattering experience today belongs to Tipperary. It's been a stirring display of character, of spirit, of craft, and of course of scoring power as well. And the Cats have power to victory. Henry Shefflin has just won his 8th medal. Brian Cody, manager in his 11th final, has just won his 8th title as boss. He is the most successful manager in the history of hurling at this level. What a performance in front of over 81,000 people at Croke Park this afternoon. 8 medals for Shefflin, 8 medals for Eddie Brennan and Michael Kavanagh, one of the subs today, and of course the fullback, Noel Hickey. What a performance, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerard, fantastic. And just those 4 players you mentioned, what service they've given to Kilkenny over the years, fantastic. And what an achievement to win 8 All-Ireland medals. But you'd have to say, I would think this is one of the sweetest ones for Kilkenny. To win the 4 in a row was huge, but they beat them last year, when there was so much hype about the 5 in a row, and then to come back this year. And I think a lot of people felt it was a very 50-50 game coming into it, but I wouldn't leave Tipperary as a pundit. I thought, they hadn't done anything to deserve to be dethroned as favourites, but I felt Kilkenny could win it. After the league final, I was hearing a lot of Dublin people and everyone else saying Kilkenny were gone, and I fought their corner that night and had a few bob behind Kilkenny at 3-1 that night to win the All-Ireland. So, fantastic win, great character, but you'd have to say, at different stages to win 6-7 points, you think they were going to pull away, but Tipperary just without a forward line function at all, got back to 3 points and kept themselves in the game, and that's a tribute to the quality of their team. And you have to remember too, they're 4 or 5 years at the very, very top as well, on the go, year in, year out, and that's taken its toll as well on such a young team. But
you
fantastic
know that a
game.
wounded cat is a very dangerous animal.
Well, they are, yeah, and they showed tremendous levels. I met Jackie Turr last November, and he told me that he said their only focus was on the All-Ireland final. That's what they were looking at. Tipperary the following year, he said they were going on their team holiday early and they were getting their heads down, and they were going to be training from November until they won the All-Ireland final. Nothing was going to stand in their way, and they peaked exactly. Michael Dempsey, the trainer, former Laois footballer, has been a huge part of the backroom team with Martin Fogarty, a brilliant coach, and Brian Cody. But Michael Dempsey had them right for today. Their physical conditioning absolutely brilliant, and it had to be. I think 2 fitter teams in hurling probably never took the field in Croke Park, and you saw the hits going in there all day. And I have to say, maybe not up to the standard of the last 2 years, but still a fantastic contest, an absorbing contest.
That would have been very hard to achieve, I think, Michael, the same excellence we've seen in the last 2 years. It was absolutely absorbing and compelling, and Brian Cody, the manager, has led Kilkenny to victory for the 8th time in 11 All-Ireland finals over 13 years. What an achievement. people watching it all over the world right now are savouring the moment if they're Kilkenny fans. If you're Hurling fans all over the world, I'm sure you're enjoying it as well. People like Kieran Whelan in Kampala watching the pictures here, and I'm sure he is enjoying what he's watching. And I hope if you're a Kilkenny fan and you're in some part of the globe right now and you think you're so far away from Croke Park, well, people are thinking of you, hoping you're enjoying what you've seen here. I know one of the head stewards down there, well, the head steward down there, Bill Barry, is today celebrating his 71st All-Ireland here at Croke Park, and our congratulations to him. The Tipperary team, well, gallant in defeat.
And Jerry, you mentioned Brian Cody. I suppose you have to put Brian Cody and Henry Shefflin in the same breath. Henry Shefflin has started every single championship game since Brian Cody took over as manager, which is an incredible statistic. What a player over all the years, and last year he limped off the field, and I really felt we wouldn't see him back again. You know, with the injury, with, you know, the second time he did his cruciate, and to go away and the level of disappointment, and to come back and put in the effort at his age after everything he achieved in the game, to come back and have that hunger. And he's going to win his 10th All-Star this year, I've no doubt. Tommy Walsh is going to win his 9th in a row, and you know that there's an incredible team.
Full-time score at Croke Park. It's Kilkenny 217, Tipperary 116.
Senior and minor finals. And I say, we bring this to both senior teams for an outstanding display of hurling with courage, stamina, and no mean sportsmanship on the day. Give your applause to two outstanding teams. I absolutely know that Tipperary have got it. You've been outstanding All-Ireland champions. You're rich in greatness in Tipperary as a premier hurling county. We congratulate you on your performance and your performance throughout this year and being the worthy All-Ireland champions you've been. Well done to Tipperary. Good man. Congratulate Brian Gavin and his officials for the rolling handling of the game. But without doubt, the Cats are back. A wonderful display of hurling. Full of tremendous courage and an awesome display. And they are worthy champions of this All-Ireland final. And now it gives me great pleasure to present the Lee McCarthy Cup to outstanding hurler and captain from Loughlin Gales, Brian Hogan.
Christy Cooney hands over the Liam McCarthy Cup to Brian Hogan, and Kilkenny are the All-Ireland champions for the 33rd time. Joyous celebrations at Croke Park, and what a lovely smile on the face of Brian Cody. What a great scene at Croke Park.
Out around here, out around coming Newcastle, Freezer Kilkenny and Shaw, Savannah, August Corridor, August Corridor, Toss, Orange Chasson and Shaw, let's say Corridor, Lee McCarthy. The two total also, the Doctor of Kilkenny, Teresa Dina, August Bridge Tree, Sabine and Shaw, Sakacha, Hawk, Tali, Chakawara. There's a lot of people that have to thank for today. I suppose first and foremost, and most importantly, the players. There's not really a to say about this bunch of lads. We're soldiers for a long number of years. We put in some hard nights, and not once did anyone ever complain. They're the best bunch of lads. You couldn't ask for any better. I suppose behind every good man there's a good woman, so I better mention the girlfriends, the mothers and the wives, who are the ones that have to sit at home every night when we're off training. I have to also thank the backroom team, Mick Dempsey, he's the reason why we're in the shape we're in. He might be our best friend in January, February and March, and he's driving us hard. But Jesus, we're glad of it now. Thanks, Mick. to Martin Fogarty, Stato, is always a quiet word for you on the side. Even when you might be going through a difficult patch, he's a great man to pull you aside. Martin, look, there's nothing I can say. Just you're a legend. Thanks a million. And then to the man himself. He's seen a lot of hurdles go through his hands. And the one thing that remains constant is his drive, his determination. And I think we'd like to think we're a reflection of him. He's an absolute legend. He's our manager. He's Brian Cody. I better also thank Kevin, our physio, John and Roisin, sports therapist, Noreen, and of course Rackard. I suppose on a personal note, I want to say a special thanks to my club, O'Loughlin Gales. They've given me the honour, it's because of them that I have the privilege to lead out this great bunch of players and accept this cup on their behalf. So thanks a million, lads. To our supporters, lads, I can't say enough about you. We've had some great years over the last 10 or so years, and you come out with supporters every day. But last year, when we were down, the reception we got back home in Kilkenny was unbelievable. And even though we might be in the best of form, every one of these players really appreciated it. And no doubt, we'll see you all again tomorrow night when we bring the cup home. Finally, to Tipperary. Lads, you're close neighbours. We know you well. We've gone to college with you. We soldier with you and against you. You're a super team. You gave us a hell of a match in 09. You came out on top last year, lads, deservedly so. And again this year, there was some match. You're a super team, lads. There's nothing I can say that's going to make you feel any better. We were there last year, lads. We know what it's like. There's no doubt you'll be back. You're a great bunch of lads. Best luck to you. We look forward to meeting you next year again, lads. 3 chips for Tip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Thanks very much.
Brian Hogan taking the McCarthy Cup with him back towards the Winners' Hotel, and you'll be able to join the celebrations, of course, on the Sunday game tonight at 9:30 with Des Cahill. It's a great place, Croke Park, to be a winner. It's an awful place to be a loser. Kilkenny know what it's like to lose last year, but they've won in 2011. They're the new champions.
So your commentators today were Ger Canning and Michael Duigan. Brian Hogan, a proud Kilkenny captain. There'll be some crack tomorrow evening down in the Marble City, there's no doubt about that. Cyril Farrell, Liam Sheedy and Tomás Mackay here with us in our studio. And Cyril, they're back. They didn't do the 5 in a row, but 5 out of 6 ain't bad.
It's probably sweeter, Michael. You know, if they admit the truth, it's probably sweeter. First of all, it's a privilege to see such a fantastic game. Real hip-to-hip stuff, no quarter given or taken, everyone tearing into it. Some great hurling, some kind of sloppy hurling as well, but that'll happen. But again, there was so much up for the game. Like the boys said before, the intensity of Kilkenny, they took the game to Tip. We felt if Tip could get a few points there, they might pull away, but that never happened. And like Brian Cody's backroom staff had the homework done. Like Jackie Tyrrell picked up Lara Corbett. Now Lara, the great years, hard to do it every day. Never scored today. No, it wasn't that ball came in, but it wasn't working for him. And Noel Hickey picked up Owen Kelly. Both of them would be lacking a little bit of pace, but like it suited Noel Hickey and Owen Kelly. So like they really had their homework done. People tell you in Kilkenny, like, or people outside say, well, Kilkenny just brought the team, they're good enough to win. This team was set up to beat Tipperary, and that they did. And I just feel like you know, it's a testament of Brian Cody and that great team. I don't know what the man is going to do. He'll probably keep going till he's 80 or 90.
What a performance he put in, Tommy Walsh.
Tommy Walsh, pound for pound for the last few years. Like, he's been, like, everyone loved to have him on his team. People give out about him, but to me, he's the best hurler in the country for the last few years. I love him because he goes in, he's honest, he's as small as I am, but the balls he catches out there, like, he just plays with his heart. And like, it was a great advertisement for hurling. I know Tip will be down tonight, and as the boys are saying here, the winner takes all. Sport is a sad place, but like, it's going to be a happy year in Kilkenny.
Liam Sheedy, you're obviously a disappointed man this evening, but I'm sure you'll also agree that Kilkenny were the better team on the day.
Yeah, we can have Tipperary can have no complaints really today. I mean, Kilkenny came with a game plan, stuck to it, and it paid great dividends. And they just got that run of steam up in the first half. You know, the 6-point cushion that they built up at half time, you know, they were starting to tire a little bit. I mean, they probably went 8 or 9 clear at one stage. But in fairness to Tip, they stayed plugging, stayed hanging in there and got a few scores. But on the day, Kilkenny just had all the answers today, especially up front. You know, all of their forwards scored, their 2 midfielders scored as well. You know, that was a complete opposite to what was happening. Tipperary forwards they were shackled today and couldn't get free. And as I said, full credit to Kilkenny. They've lost one game in 6 years. A phenomenal achievement for Brian Cody, his backroom team, and his players.
There was also a statistic, Tomas Mulcahy, that emerged during the week, which was that any team that beat Brian Cody in the championship, the next time they met, Cody's team won.
Absolutely, you know, and I mean, we were saying they were sitting pretty in the high grass waiting for this one for a long time since last September, obviously, you know. And I mean, their game plan was just fantastic, you know. I mean, they saw Lark Cobber has been a huge threat. Man marking, no fancy stuff from Jackie Turl, but he made sure that Lark Cobber didn't get any space. He tied him down every time, never allowed him to get a one-on-one, get on the ball to take on a defender. And I mean, when you look at it, the difference in the Tipperary forward line against the Kilkenny forward line, the contributions that were made, and the contributions that were made by the likes of Richie Hogan getting the goal that he did, a spectacular goal in the second half. The likes of Colin Fenley, we maybe said at the start, he was in there for the last 3 weeks, made a huge impression in the game, getting 2 great points there in the second half. And unfortunately for Tipperary, they did not have that in their setup in that second half period. Got an awful lot of possession, but they came up against the back line. Jackie Turl, as I had to mention, JJ Delaney, Paul Murphy had a fantastic All-Ireland final for his first time. Absolutely brilliant. But the man of the occasion was Tommy Walsh. They just could not stop him. Ball after ball after ball after Hurling, got at the referee, got at the player in front of him, and cleared everything out the field in front of him. And that's what you want in your team.
As Liam said, Cyril Farrell, Tip threw everything at it. They tried their best to get back into this game, but it was significant. About 5 minutes from the end of the game, Tip crowd were beginning to make towards the exits. They wanted to get that little bit of an edge on the road home, because I think they knew what the writing was on the wall.
I think the goal in the first half really turned it. Henry, like a very fast line ball, walked it in, a beautiful pop pass from Richie Hogan to Michael Finlay coming through. But Michael, since the first day I've seen Kilkenny this year, that was below in Wexford Park against Wexford on a Saturday evening, about 20,000, all Wexford at it. It wasn't that Wexford played great hurling, but they tried to man them out, and I was very impressed by the attitude, you know, of these Kilkenny players. They've been around a long time, and I was saying to anyone like that, I believe they were going to go on, and afterwards they were saying, with no disrespect to God, they'd love Dublin to come through, because they felt the needed one over Dublin after the league final, and the whole lot was coming right. And even today, Tipperary were there after last year. Brian Cody would love to get one over, and Kilkenny, it was one over on the arch rivals Tipperary. They'll be still arch rivals, but like it's probably they're going to feel that it's the sweetest victory of Auburn. They went down to hurling, like they hurled great stuff all over the pitch, and they had heroes everywhere, like up front, beautiful, like Eddie Brennan Brock, first game, played every league game, wasn't big French championship game, first league game back this time. Richie Power back to himself. Owen Larkin did a lot of honest work as well. They
were opening their feet in the last 10 minutes. They were going down, there was zonk, but there was something in them that got them up again off the ground to drive on. They could see the finishing line was very close.
They were in front, that's the big difference. They went in at half time 5 points up, and they held that, they pushed on a little bit, and like they actually won in by 4, so they were in the driving seat all day.
Mind you, looking at their celebrations down there in the field, that they found an extra little bit of wind, I think, at the end of that match.
You win when you win.
I was just waiting for them to give Cody the bumps there at the end.
But I think that's what winning does, you know. I mean, you have loads of energy, you know. I mean, that, you know, as I said, there's so much at stake in that Ireland final, you know. I mean, the two teams are coming in, you know, Tip haven't won it last year, Kilkenny hadn't won it for the previous 4 years, you know. And you know, everything around this evening and tomorrow is all about for the winners, you know, because as I said, there's no podium here that has first, second, and third. It really is winner takes all.
You look at the body language of Cody there on the sideline, even during the match. I mean, like normally you'll see him standing there, one static position, there's no movement. This time round, he was up and down the line, he was into the field, he was shouting at guys there in the second half. When they went a bit on the short passing, when they had a chance to put the ball over the bar, he was very irate with a few at that stage. But that's what the encouragement that he's driving on, the desire that he had, and the hunger that he had to win.
Yeah, and you see, Michael, as well, I think any good manager, the team will show what the manager is. You know what I mean? They epitomised Cody. They drove on, and they did take some bad options, and he'd be furious with them. But again, you can see Cody in them, and that's the way any manager, especially when he's there for a long time. He's been there for a lot of years, and they're all nearly kind of clones of him in the sense. And the feeling down in Kilkenny is when Cody lets a man back to his club, he has to be the leader in that club. He may not be the best player, but he should be leader. If he's not, Brian will feel that he's not doing the job that he should be doing, and he's not good to him. So it shows like what he's creating. He's creating heroes, but he's creating great men as well.
I mean, Brian Hogan said there at the start of the match, I mean, they went in after the Waterford match and nothing was sent to the dressing room. I believe they got a bollocking for about 30 minutes inside there, and they were told that if this is going to be your performance for Ireland, is as good